Okay, I don't even know why I'm writing this. Maybe it's to make sense of what happened, or maybe I just need someone to believe me because I don't think I'll sleep again. It started with a stupid cabin rental. My friends and I thought it would be fun to get away for the weekend, unplug, drink too much, and just hang out in the middle of nowhere. The place was cheap, like suspiciously cheap, but we figured it was because it was so isolated. It wasn't fancy, but it had everything we needed: beds, a kitchen, and a fireplace. When we got there, the first thing we noticed was this smell, like damp wood and something faintly rotten. It wasn't overpowering, just enough to make you wrinkle your nose. The place looked like it hadn't been used in years. Dust on the shelves, cobwebs in the corners, that kind of thing. But whatever. We weren't there to admire the decor. Then we found the note. It was sitting on the kitchen table, just a single piece of paper with this shaky, messy handwriting. It read, Rules. 1. Do not enter the forest after dark. 2. Do not speak to the woman at the door. 3. If the phone rings twice, answer it. If it rings 3 times, do not pick up. 4. Never, under any circumstances, light the fireplace. 5. At 3:33 a.m., lock yourself in the bathroom until the knocking stops. I remember laughing, but it was that nervous kind of laugh, like when you're not sure if you're supposed to be scared or not. Ryan crumpled it up immediately and threw it in the trash. Come on, it's a joke, he said. Or a warning, I said, half joking. Kelly rolled her eyes. It's probably something the owners left to freak people out. You guys are way too superstitious. So we shrugged it off. We were here to relax, not obsess over some weird note. Big mistake. That first night, things were normal, at first. We made dinner, drank, played cards. Ryan even went out to chop some of the firewood stacked outside, grumbling about how cold the place was. I reminded him about the fireplace rule, but he ignored me. Dude, we're in the middle of the woods. You really think the owners are going to show up and yell at us? He lit the fire, and that was that. Around midnight, the knocking started. It was soft at first, like someone gently tapping on the front door. Expecting someone? Kelly joked, but I could see the way her eyes darted toward the door. Ryan stood up, clearly annoyed. I'll check it out. Don't, I blurted out. I don't know why, but I felt this pit of dread in my stomach. Just don't. Ryan hesitated, then shrugged. Fine. Creeps. The knocking stopped. Later, when we were all starting to settle in, the phone rang. It was one of those old rotary phones mounted on the wall, yellowed with age. I didn't even think it worked until it rang. We all stared at it. Ryan smirked. Ooh, scary, he said, but he didn't move to answer it. It rang once, twice. I don't know why, but I got up and answered it. My hands were shaking as I lifted the receiver. Hello? There was static on the other end, and then this faint, raspy whisper. Don't let the fire die out. I hung up so fast the phone slammed against the wall. What was that? Kelly asked, her voice tight. Nothing, I lied. Probably just a prank call. The fire in the fireplace flickered, then flared so high it almost touched the chimney. For just a second, I thought I saw something moving in the flames, something dark and twisting. But when I blinked, it was gone. Then the phone rang again. This time, 3 times. None of us answered it. By the time 3 a.m. rolled around, none of us were joking anymore. The air in the cabin felt heavy, like it was pressing down on us. The forest outside was deathly quiet, not even the sound of crickets. I fished the crumpled note out of the trash and smoothed it out on the table. At 3:33, we have to lock ourselves in the bathroom, I said. Ryan laughed nervously. You're seriously doing this now? Yes, I snapped. You saw what happened with the phone. Do you really want to find out what happens if we don't? By the time 3:33 hit, we were all crammed into the tiny bathroom, sitting on the cold tile floor. The knocking started immediately. This time it wasn't soft. It was loud, violent, shaking the walls. It wasn't just at the front door. It was everywhere. On the windows, the walls, even the ceiling. And then we heard it. Voices. They were faint at first, but then they grew louder. "Let us in," one of them said. "I can hear you," another whispered. Ryan's face went pale. That's Kelly's voice. I shook my head, trying to convince myself it wasn't true. But then I heard my own voice, clear as day, from the other side of the door. "It's safe now. You can come out." Kelly clamped her hands over her ears, rocking back and forth. "This isn't happening," she whispered. The knocking stopped at exactly 4:01. When we stepped out of the bathroom, the cabin was silent. The air felt wrong, heavier. Ryan and Kelly were gone. Their stuff was still there, backpacks, phones, everything, but they were just gone. I ran to the car, not bothering to grab my things. The sun was just starting to rise as I sped down the dirt road. I didn't stop until I reached the nearest town. It wasn't until later, when I pulled the note out of my pocket, that I noticed the last line, written in tiny, frantic handwriting. "If you survive the night, leave by sunrise. If you stay, they'll take you too." I stayed too long. Now I hear knocking every night.